To call to order the October 10th, 2023 meeting of the Culver Town Council to order. First of all, I'd like to remind you that this meeting is being recorded and your participation is your consent to be recorded and rebroadcast on the town's YouTube channel. Also, at this time, if you have any electronic devices or so forth, if you kind of turn those off on airplane mode or turn them off, I'd appreciate it. I think start a roll call, please.
Bill Clevenger.
Present.
Bill Githens.
Here.
Bill Ham.
Here.
Sally Ricciardi.
Here.
Rich West.
Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the approval of council minutes.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Githens. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved. Next is the approval of the August financial report. Have a motion, please. Mr. West made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify, excuse me, by saying aye.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is Culver Storage Solutions.
Before and after, no, it would be like half that, maybe.
So why don't I, okay, oh, I was gonna say 3,000.
Okay, and is anyone here on behalf of Culver Storage Solutions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please identify yourself.
My name's Rob Herber. Solutions.
All right, sir.
We,
You want to come up more toward the front, please?
be on 17 and West Jefferson and put in storage units. And I applied to the county for the building permit. Permit itself with Culver's addition is going to be $17,000. I talked to their building commissioner. He believed that that was a little excessive. We have done the same exact, and I think Karen got you some information. We did the same footprint at Bass Lake, and Bass Lake charged a flat fee of $5,000. And I am the building inspector in the city of Warsaw. And if the same project came into the city of Warsaw, the building permit fee over there would be $1,301.60. So I guess I talked with Ty Adley, worked through the whole process. I guess I was just coming here to see if the city would give us any relief on the building permit fee. It's about a 65,000 square foot, all the buildings added together. If it was a 6-story hotel, it would probably be about the same square footage. But on a hotel, your building inspector would be out there probably 8 or 9 times. And each one of those times they'd be out there for 6 or 8 hours. There are going to be 3 inspections on this, which will be about 15 or 20 minutes each. So the time for storage units versus any other kind of commercial building, high rise, the time that you're going to have involved is minimal. And I do all the permit application approvals and everything over there. And Ty has already looked at them at the county, approved the first one, just waiting to find out about the price. So there will be 14 buildings, all very similar, no electric, no plumbing, just the shell with the dividing walls inside and concrete floors.
No heat, no air.
And no electric. There will be some electric to the sign out front, I believe, but no electric in the units.
No security lights or anything.
There will be some down lighting around the perimeter, but nothing, in the buildings.
Okay.
It will be, I guess, there'll be one meter. Like, several units will have their own meters.
You say Mr. Gorski quoted you 17,000 for the permits?
Actually tied it with the county, because they do the permits there and
Right.
they add your fee in. So it's actually $16,970.
Now, is the county taking part of that, or is that all coming down?
Yes. The county takes 400 on each application.
What's that leave us?
So with the 14 buildings, and it's not your guys' deal, it's theirs, but he wants each one of them permitted separately, which nobody else does. So it's going to be 14 applications. So 14 applications times 400.
Okay, that's
To the county.
three. Okay, I'm just trying to
Yes, sir.
follow the math. What,
What's the purpose of having individual inspections? Or individual
Ty wants money.
permits?
I can't answer that. I argued with him. Every place else, like I said, Bass Lake with one permit for the whole facility.
Right.
At Warsaw, it would be one permit for the whole facility. So,
So you're not going to have it inspected until all 14 buildings are completed?
no, they would come out, we would build them in units of 4. So they would come out and inspect post holes on 4 buildings, and then framing on 4, and then final on 4, and then do the next set.
I think we have a question in the,
Not a question. It's just been a practice in Culver that we issue a permit for each building structure. That's just always been that way. When the academy does cabins, each one of them is separately permitted.
Really?
The way it's done.
When were you planning on starting construction?
Soon, right away. They've already got the buildings laid out, the grade set, they're ready to start moving dirt. There's gonna be a retention pond, they're gonna get that dug. And I would like to, if we can get some relief, we will do all the permits and everything up front, pay for it all up front. If not, then we will probably do it in stages as we build 4 buildings at a time.
So with the county's portion of this, so 14 structures at $400 a piece is about $5,600. Is there also a charge for each of the times they have to come out?
No.
For an inspection? So that's covered by the 400?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Did Ty recommend you come here for relief, or?
He told me that he couldn't do anything about it to talk to Steve, which I did. And then Steve said the only way he could do it was that the council had to.
Steve online.
He is online, and then he also provided,
I just saw that.
some input that I provided, an email that he sent me with that. Kind of explaining what it was, but he is online.
Steve, are you online? Bear with us a minute, boy, we can make the connection.
Sure, the technical side of this is gonna work.
How many units are there all together?
14 buildings.
I mean, storage.
I don't have the number with me.
Okay.
So they vary. Some of them will be on the outside will be larger for boat storage,
Mhm.
and then smaller units on the center. So,
More about large plaza or Boston.
yeah, they vary from 5 by 10 up to 20 by 40.
Okay.
Russ, you have something else you want to add?
Bill, wouldn't it be more appropriate for him to go to the planning commission and have them make a recommendation to you? Because they're the ones who set the fee.
Okay, maybe that's.
And I think they might have to do some rezoning too. I think it's residential. It looks like it was a mobile home park.
No,
No, that's not the land.
No.
We're on 17 on the other side behind us.
I apologize.
I guess I have
Anyway, I
one.
think the planning commission is the best place to go. And if they recommend it to you,
I kind of agree with Russ on that one. Cause it was either that or get Steve in here and we have a work session, but you know, I think maybe that going to the planning commission first and going up the chain. The ultimate decision, yes, does lie here. Right. Even if the plan commission recommends, that doesn't mean we're all gonna agree, but
But we're not asking the planning commission to change their price. We're just asking you guys because you have the authority to adjust it.
I understand that.
Understand that,
Yeah.
but
To go to the planning commission first to lay out what you want to do is what I'm saying. And they, you know, their next meeting is, next Tuesday. So I mean, it's time to get it on the agenda and come and talk to them about it. And then our next meeting is the Tuesday after, Tuesday after
I mean,
that. So,
since they're the ones that make the recommendation,
yeah,
we pass the ordinance, but I find it difficult. Personally, I can't speak for the rest of the council, but I find it difficult to understand why we should make an exception for your project when we don't make exceptions for other projects.
Understand that. Don't believe you've had a project like this.
Well, we may not have one exactly like yours, but we've had a lot of other.
Steve.
Steve?
So this is Steve. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I made it. What can I do for you?
Steve, we're trying to discuss, you know, understand the gentleman's coming here because, you know, Ty wouldn't wouldn't negotiate the fee. And Russ Mason brought up the fact that maybe the gentleman should be going to the plan commission first and discussing it with them, and then they would make a recommendation to the council. In other words, it seems like, you know, got the cart before the horse. Need to go up the ladder rather than jumping.
Well, I think ultimately it's going to end up with the town council. If you went to the plan commission and they said no, he'd still appeal right back to this council here. So I think you're in a position you can make a decision right now.
Steve, this is Rich West. What is your recommendation on this? And
I know it sounds like a lot of money, but when you break it down by 14 buildings, and as the other examples were given, we haven't given any breaks to the academy. We've got other storage units going in also that aren't asking for any relief on permit fees. So I know it sounds like a lot, but that's where we're at. That's been what the town has done.
Anything else, Steve?
No. Have any questions for me?
I think you've made your case.
$600 from the county is part of his $17,000.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Thoughts?
Got a question in the audience, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Tom House, 130 State Street. Would anyone recollect when Ralph Winters expanded his facility probably 15 to 20 years ago? And there were multiple buildings put up. Was that assessed at that time, or is this a fairly recent change to building structure per unit.
I can answer that. The permit fees were lower then, but we were still
Per building.
assessing per building.
Thank you.
I just don't see a way around it. I mean, it's 14 buildings times the fee that he came up with, $1,215. Any relief would be the fact that it's $16,970 instead of 17,000. I can poll the council. Rich?
Anything else you wanted to add? I would not support reducing fees. I think that it sets a precedent that would be dangerous for all of our provisions as well.
Bill?
It is what it is, but I just think they go through the proper procedures, and I think it probably should go to the plan commission first and, you know, take that step, and if it comes back, they recommend it, then it's back here. So I don't think
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
need to jump, rungs on the ladder. I think that sets a bad precedent.
Let them weigh in.
Or,
Let them weigh in.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't want to usurp what they do. I mean, that just makes no sense to me.
Motion is that we send this to the plan commission and Bill just seconded that. Is that what I hear?
Well, no, he's just,
I know he's polling.
I'm
he's
just
polling,
polling.
but that may be my motion, but I mean,
All right.
Sally?
I'm a little torn. That seems like a considerable amount. For no more inspections than we would normally do on that style of building. If it was a commercial building of that size, there'd be a lot more inspections. And I think the fees were probably set up in accordance with that. So I think I'm probably in agreement with Bill and Bill.
Bill Ham.
Yeah.
Okay.
May I have a motion?
So I make a motion that we ask the gentleman to go to the plan commission there for them to weigh in on it and then bring it back to us.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Githens, seconded by Mr. what? Excuse me, Mr. Ham. Refer it back to Plan Commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Opposed, aye.
So you're saying the vote's 4-1?
4-1.
Plan commission meets next Tuesday.
If the plan commission would agree with it and they came back to here as of today, what is our vote?
Well, I don't think we're not gonna
Do that.
telecast
We're not
what
gonna
our
do
vote
that. We're
would
gonna
be.
see what the plan commission may make some other recommendations. They may. We gotta wait to see what they say. That's what's fair.
If I may make one more comment,
Yes,
the plan commission agenda's already been published for next week.
Well, it can be
we can amend it.
It can be amended. There's plenty of time. It's only gotta be 48 hours. I think it stands there, goes to plan commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is the second, third read of ordinance 2023-015, amending ordinance establishing fees and costs for Culver Park and Recreation Department. Ordinance 2023-015, an ordinance amending and restating ordinance 2022-006 and 2021-010, being the ordinance establishing fees or costs for the town Town of Culver Park and Recreation Department. May I have a motion for second read, please?
Ordinance 2023-015, second read, changing the rates. In the park department for pier slips. Second.
It's been moved by Mr. West, seconded by Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and approve on third read? It's been moved by Mr. West. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Approved on third read. Next on the agenda is second, third read of ordinance 2023-016. Ordinance for appropriation and tax rates, 2024 budget. I have a motion to approve on second read. There's really nothing to read on this bill other than going through the whole thing.
Okay.
Ordinance or resolution for appropriation and tax rates.
It was published,
So
so
moved.
It's published. Been moved by Mr. Githens, seconded by Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. I have a motion to suspend the rules and approve on third read. It's been moved by Mr. West. Second, please.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
aye.
Approved on third read. Next on the agenda is a review of Town Marshal overtime and extend if necessary. Karen?
Yes, so when. The officers all amended. Allowing Wayne to collect overtime for any hours worked over 84 hours in a 2-week period. He will be. So in that ordinance, we said that we would, or you all said that you would review that after a period of time, and that time is about up. So, and then you can make a motion to extend it. But that way it just keeps you reviewing it for a period of time. But it doesn't.
Extension period of time, what, till the end of the year or see what I'm saying?
Right.
You have a recommendation?
It could be determined. Right now, we'll probably do it on the monthly on the original. And so I would recommend monthly extensions.
Okay,
So we can review it.
till the first council meeting of every month to review it.
That would be, or reconfirm it. Yeah.
Reconfirm,
Yes.
reaffirm it.
I know that we extend the division to pay the chief police for overtime over 84 hours. And to be reviewed again on the first meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. West, seconded by Mr. Githens. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Next item is the Culver appointment to the Culver Union Township Library Board.
I'd like to recommend that we nominate and approve Becky
Scotty.
Strati?
Strati to the town council appointment to the Culver Library Board.
Second that motion.
It's been moved by Mr. Githens to appoint Ms. Strati, seconded by Mr. West. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Appointment approved.
Thanking all of the candidates for their interest.
Yes.
And application.
Yeah, it was a hard decision. There were a number of really good candidates.
Dunes update.
Student update. We are planning a series, first of all, good evening. We're planning a series of public conversations planned in the upcoming weeks. The first session will be including residents that are directly across from the proposed development on South Main. That's going to be on the 12th, Wednesday, from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. I distributed flyers to the individuals on that property or the properties. We're going to continue with these conversations throughout the development, at least the proposed time schedule. We'll be looking at probably the end of the month or the beginning of next month for another public session. These sessions are intended to take questions and concerns and feedback so we can help shape what we are planning and consulting with the developers. Last week, we received updates from Baker and Tilly, priority project, as well as Barnes and Thornburg, concerning two primary areas, the infrastructure cost and the bond numbers, or the issuance of the bonds. We are currently reviewing those and going to probably meet with the developer next week to discuss those numbers further. I'd like to post a reminder to everybody. We have a redevelopment commission meeting on Monday, 10/16 at 5:15. During that meeting, we intend to provide some updates concerning the TIF district and some of the numbers involved in that. Welcome everybody to come. That is the Dunes update.
At these informational meetings, are the developers going to be there to answer questions?
Initially, no, because we want to hear directly as a town from the town, but we will be including those developers as we proceed into it. I say no initially, but that could change. I don't want to iron that, but our original plan is more of a one-on-one between the town and the citizens, and then we'll bring the developers in, maybe second or third meeting.
And the meeting on the 12th will be in this room, Beach Lodge, where you're going to do it.
How we schedule that?
You might want to think about the capacity.
We were.
Is it the 12th?
It's going to be smaller. I think we originally on the 12th, because the people that have been invited are just the residents on South Main there. I think we were planning on utilizing this room. We are looking for a bigger venue on the future town meetings, which we anticipate more numbers as we open it up. But that is where I last left it. We were in here. Yes.
I'm Hank Billsman.
Yes, sir.
House on South Street. I don't understand exactly how the TIP district works.
That's a longer conversation, but it's one that's exactly why we are having if you don't have anything to do on Monday at 5:15, we're going to be going over that in extensive, and there will be more information produced about it. The long and short with the TIF district is what happens is you come into a piece of land such as the field where the proposed development is. The base rate of that tax rate is frozen for a 20-year period. And as the developers continue to build, the tax rate or the tax assessed value of that land goes up. That's called the increment, the difference between the base rate and the improved rate from the development. That increment will come back to the town directly. And what it will be used for is the paying of the bonds for that infrastructure that we're putting in, as well as a certain portion of it to go back to the redevelopment commission for improvement of future infrastructure projects and any type of town development.
Do we currently have two TIF districts?
We currently have two TIF districts. That's correct.
So this would be the third.
Technically, no, this is actually going to be put into the first. We're going to realign and add this to the first TIF district. So we're not creating a new TIF district essentially.
Okay. Now but it does raise income or property taxes, does it not?
It will not raise immediately the property taxes, but as the assessed value of the development goes up, it will raise probably the property taxes and adjacent to it. Not in a significant way, but I can't anticipate that. I can't say for sure how much it will.
The TIF itself does not mandate our property tax.
No, not to my understanding. You're welcome, sir.
Any other questions regarding this? We answer your question, Mr. Bilson?
I think so. I'm probably.
We would love to have you come in on Monday, because that's exactly the purpose of Monday's meeting, is to be able to inform and to explore that for people to understand it. So I do appreciate those questions.
But thank you for your question. Yes, sir.
Tom, you us again. I'm a little confused. This is open up to the people that are the residents on South Main?
The first session is immediately concerning South Main. The additional sessions, and we plan on having several before the year is out, will be open to the total public. We wanted to prioritize because they're the closest to the development, are going to have the most concerns, and we want to be able to single those voices out here.
And these people are being notified how?
I walked down that street handing flyers up and down that street. So everybody that lives there knocked on some doors, actually had some feedback sessions that came a little early, but invited them in. So anybody that I couldn't reach by knocking on the door, I deposited the flyer.
Where is that meeting gonna be?
The first meeting for the South Main Street should be in this room in Town Council.
At what time?
It is scheduled for 5:30 to 7 o'clock on Wednesday next week. You're welcome, sir.
On Wednesday next week.
You said I have
This one,
I have the 12th.
12th was day of Thursday.
This is
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, 2 days.
I'm sorry, it's Thursday. My bad. Yeah, thank you. I got a little ahead of myself. I'm looking at the wrong line there.
But
But
there's two meetings.
there are 2 meetings.
There's a smaller meeting for the residents along South Main Street on Thursday.
I know, sorry.
And there's a bigger meeting for the redevelopment commission.
Yeah. I'm still from Columbus down. Still reeling, sorry. That's students update.
Your town manager report, please.
Yes, sir. It's quick and short. I've been meeting with, had some preliminary conversations with Jeff and the EMS service. We're going to sit down and review some scheduling and some different needs in terms of equipment, see where we're at. Parking utilities, really appreciate everybody come out for Fall Fest this weekend. They did a great job of planning and preparing for that, managing the event, and just want to show some appreciation there. I have a meeting set for, this Thursday in the morning with Riley Carr and Bill Doolin over at the school's resource officer. They're new to the community, or new to the school as a new position, and wanted to talk about our communication and coordination with them. Also had a nice conversation today with Leah Till from the Mishawaka Area Congress or Committee of Government. And we were talking about some EPA grants that might be available coming up in the next year. Looking at some different projects that she identified in her visit, and talked to me, and we're going to meet again next week to further those conversations. That's what I have for you this week.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Department head report, EMS. Anybody online for EMS? Fire, Terry?
Yeah, I just have one thing. I've got put out the bid for the windows at the fire station that you wanted fixed. And I'd like you to accept the bid of $2,800 to do all the windows except for one that we're gonna be replacing with a new window. Just haven't gotten that part of it done yet.
2,800.
Motion to approve.
So move.
It's been moved by Mr. Githens. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank
That's
you.
all I've got tonight.
Thank you very much, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
Wayne? Okay.
Cars. I sent you guys an email also on the take home car policy. It's just another step I want to put out of the way. You got to the little item once. Had an opportunity to read that policy, that part of our S&P policy. Any questions?
I think it was pretty inclusive. And straightforward. Basically, they can take it to their residents. They're on call 24 hours. And not for personal use, and they need to take care of it and maintain it as it normally has been maintained and cleaned. So I don't have a problem with it.
I think we did a good job of putting policy together and gathering feedback and raising modifications is, so I think it's something I would support.
I'm on board.
I'm on board.
I'm on board, and it is a policy which, in my opinion, you know, chief of police or any department that can make policies and we don't need to, you know, feed them to death.
Right.
I think we made our decision when we agreed to purchase the cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just a directive on how that's implemented.
Right.
Out. So,
Appreciate it.
yes.
Next thing. Shows we got an email from Kara, understand stuff that we got a chance to read all this.
2 pages worth of excess, outdated,
I'll just-
should be thrown away equipment.
Chad put this together, he did a real good job with it. But we have a bunch of stuff, basically.
Typewriter.
Rolodex.
Well, let's try and use it. Basically, we just want, we've itemized everything, photographed everything. Just want to scrap everything. We do have some cameras that could be of value. I pull over. Bill, it's the camera. We're gonna see if we can get something out of those before looking at purchasing new cameras, right? So it's against the graded value of stuff. On this list is right, crash. Computers will hold hard drives, and there's a place in Plymouth that we take all the and the hard drives we just take out. That won't go with all that kind of stuff. Both of them, just, there's no value, really.
Probably appropriate for the council to determine that the list of items on exhibit A are of no value and can be disposed of. If you're gonna try and get something out of something, that changes things, because you gotta give everybody in Culver and state of Indiana and everywhere else an opportunity to buy it, just like you might sell it to whoever, me. So your best bet is just to scrap it.
Good tip.
A motion
I just wanted that we authorize disposing of the equipment that the police department has identified as having no current value.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. West, second of Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Dumpster dive out, it's all for 50 dumpster. Gotta get rid of bikes too, but we were talking. Another thing on the list I want to discuss is just putting a bug in your ear. They have a visitor at the meeting one night. Sure. I told him I would mention it to you. We have a resident on South Plymouth Street. All that. That would like to see South Plymouth Street made one-way street. It goes north from Wabash, but yeah, it's Wabash, and it curves into Bottom, goes out to Main Street. It's a little wider down toward Main Street. Bottom, that block, but like where Wabash south or north of or Plymouth north of Wabash, that part is narrow. There's basically parking on one side.
They said they've talked to the residents in that area. They're pretty much in agreement, you know. But it's not a vote or anything tonight, but just so you know.
Thank you.
That, that's driving. Trying to prepare for the rest.
All right. Anything else, Wayne? All right, thank you very much, Wayne. Park? Nothing from the park department. Utilities, Bob, are you online?
I am. I have nothing for you.
Thank you very much. That concludes the department head report, clerk's report.
I just have one claim over $2,500. It was on the list of claims last time, but I just wanted to call attention to it. It was the payout number 3 for Thomas excavating to the work on Academy, the water main extension, and it was $123,580.74, and that was coming out of the ARP funds. So we still have that, maybe used up about half of the ARP funds. So the rest of it, last time you approved some work on fire hydrants and one of the other plannings, and then the rest will go towards the well. But I just wanted to call your attention to that, not necessarily getting approval because you would think.
Yeah.
We'll, let's see, just want to remind you that there's a public hearing scheduled for October 24th on the golf cart ordinance and raising fees. And then townwide cleanup is this weekend. Put your stuff out at the curb over the weekend. The guys will pick it up Monday. That's all I have.
On Thomas excavating, has there been any progress on their getting approved for the grant?
Yes. Actually, Shannon was here last week and did the closeout and the audit with Okra. And we will have a finding because they did not have their SAMS number prior to. She did ask the question, asked a couple of different questions. But they did ultimately finally get their SAMS number. So everything's cleared up between the two of us and.
Good, thank you.
A motion to approve the Thomas excavating.
Sorry, but no.
We approved it last
meeting.
Oh, last
Yeah.
meeting, okay. Anything else, Karen?
That's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Next item is the attorney's report.
And Kevin handled whatever I was gonna say, the Dunes housing project, and so I have nothing further.
Thank you, sir. Anyone in the room or online for utility shut off or ordinance violation? Anyone online? Hearing none. Citizen input. Yes, sir.
Yes, Gary, Eric, 1001 South Street. There's a home at 815 East Akron. And it appears abandoned. And demolition appeared to have occurred the middle of last week. And they've stopped demolishing it. Now the property looks to be abandoned and unsafe because children can get in there. They've only peeled off the back of the building. So people can enter. So I just want to know if anyone knows about whether that 815 is even have a demolition permit or what the status of that property is. We're concerned about kids in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Get a
I
hold
can
of
answer
Steve.
that.
Oh, okay. He's on, good.
Steve.
So yes, Dan, first of all, yes, they have a demolition permit. And I'm aware that they started and seem to have stopped. Working with Jeanette Cerisi, going through some legal channels on that to make sure that that gets done at this point. So that process it'll take some time, but we are moving forward on that. In the meantime, I'll be in touch with that property owner to make sure that that demolition continues. And if it's not going to continue, then the city's going to have to secure, the town Culver will have to secure that property to make sure that it's safe That'll be an immediate need that we'll have to do. It's something I'll have to also speak to Jeanette about that.
Steve, this is Rich West. Can we ask whoever's doing the demolition or the building contractor to make it a safe site for demolition before the town gets involved in putting up fencing?
I'm sorry, if that was for me, I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry about that. Can we ask the contractor who's doing the demolition and or the landowner to put up some fencing or some barriers to make the property secure during demolition before we go through the process of having the town step in physically to do something?
We absolutely can, but I can, yes, I'll find out if there's some kind of rigid fencing they can put up that somebody can't necessarily just raise like caution tape, something more secure than that. But yes, sir, I'll find out about that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Rich Tucker, 743 Anchorage Way. I received I was driving my golf cart on 117 from the Fridas to Anchorage Way, which is literally one block. And the officer told me to come in here to talk to you guys because I didn't understand the difference between that part of the road and 117. And you guys putting sidewalks in and dropping the speed limit to 35 miles an hour. So that's why I'm here.
Were you on State Road 17 and State Road 10?
I'm sorry.
You're at 10.
Yeah.
Sorry, on 10. Right across. So I came out of Frida's to go into Anchorage Way, which is 2 buildings.
No. If you're on the sidewalk, you're not supposed to be on a sidewalk.
Yeah, and then there's a sign that says. no
If you're on
golf carts
the street, that's a state highway, and golf carts aren't allowed on state highways.
But I don't understand what the difference between that state highway is and 117. Not a state highway too?
117 is not in, it's how it's called, it's East Shore.
Yeah. Yeah, 117 is in the county.
But
So,
still doesn't make any difference. You're not supposed
yeah,
to drive a
you're
golf
not
cart on
supposed to
state
drive a
highway.
golf
Yeah.
cart out there, but Culver,
They may drive them on the state highway, but they're not supposed to.
yeah.
That's all.
But that's county enforcement, not
County.
town enforcement.
They not fine.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I didn't understand.
All right, thank you. Any other citizen input? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Gingerbread, just to South Main. Okay, I'd just like to make a comment. I've been riding around, of course, I got a golf cart. And I don't know who did it, but the fire hydrants look fantastic. They look really nice. And whoever did it,
It's a cool project.
Yes.
Yep.
from the
Yeah. Shane Lowry's done that. The kids are doing, and I assume they've got some that don't have black dots on it. I assume they're gonna put dots on it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone online for citizen input? Larry?
I just want to ad lib that this is National Fire Prevention Month and this is National Fire Prevention Week. Fire department has smoke detectors that have been handed to us by our local Lowe's and our Ace Hardware store. We have them for people in need. We also have carbon monoxide detectors, so if someone needs one, you come to town hall and tell them. Sometimes they had some, I don't think they have any anymore, but I just want to put that out there. Elderly people that need them will go and install them for them if they need them. I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you, Terry.
Inviting people to change the battery and stop, drop and roll. Can we do that? Not doing anything.
I don't remember that one.
I'm just here on behalf of the Visitor Center. If anybody wants a fall fest pamphlet, that's this weekend. I have them. So just come over here and I'm happy to give you one.
Yes, sir.
Gary Cheseldine, 520 South Plymouth. Chief Bean mentioned that there was you can make Bottavano one way. It sort of brings up a concern. There are potentially abandoned vehicles on Bottavano at that choke point where it starts to curve from South Plymouth to Bottavano.
I think that issue needs to be raised by itself. If those cars are allowed to park there, you do have an issue with two-way
I
traffic.
am addressing that.
And that sort of leads into the next one, which is South Plymouth by Mill and Marmot Street. There is a car that hasn't moved in months that's illegally parked. And then there's somebody who parks across from that. So now you also have a choke area. So I think before we, make the decision to make one-way street, we try to figure out what the parking situation is and enforce that.
Where is that choke point?
The first one would be at South Plymouth as it curves to Botavana going north.
Okay,
There's a couple of vehicles parked there.
see it, yeah.
Parked there with disabled tires. And then the other part of South Plymouth would be at Mill, near the cove, at Mill and Marmot. There are typically two vehicles parked on either side of the road, and my understanding is there is no parking in that section of South Plymouth. They've just been sitting up. One Black Mercury, has been there for months, hasn't moved.
Is that on Plymouth?
South Plymouth.
Yeah.
I see the chief is taking notes. He'll look into it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, council issues in action. Rich,
I don't have anything.
thank you. Bill,
I have nothing.
Sally,
I have nothing.
I have nothing. Motion to adjourn,
So
please.
moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Giffen, seconded by Mr. Ham. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried.